Hello, cool kids and families, to another epic episode of Mac Music Review. Today we are looking at a Humble Beast record, and that album is The Narrative by Sho Baraka. This is the album. I have it right here in physical form, which is sick. I'm so glad that I do. It is like... It's his fourth album. He had Turn My Life Up, I think was the first one. Lions and Liars. His first record, I think Turn My Life Up, was on Reach Records, and then he left Reach after that, I think, for Lions and Liars. I'm pretty sure Lions and Liars was like his own label. And then he did Talented Tenth. And then he joined Humble Beast. I believe he joined Humble Beast with The Narrative. And I don't know if he's still on Humble Beast. He might be. But with this album, he had the help of the Humble Beast guys, the Beautiful Eulogy guys, Cortland Urbano, or whatever his name is, and he had those connections. He also had those connections with Reach Records, like Lecrae is on the song here, and you also have Humble Beast rappers like Jackie Hill Perry on Kanye, female Christian rapper, and it's an album. The album starts off absolutely joyful. Not in the very first track. The first track just eases you into the album with these lyrics that are, and the whole album just absolutely laced with history and very rich lyrical detail. Very rich. Crack open the spine of this book. I mean, just the intro, like the intro part of the song with the poetry. And you get Sho Baraka just setting the stage for the album and all of the dense lyrical themes that he's going to dive into. And then you get these upbeat songs like Soul and Kanye. Soul, which is like a tribute to the jazz era. And the whole album is very jazzy instrumentation, very To Pimp a Butterfly kind of inspired, feels like, in a lot of ways. And then Kanye, which is this really kind of song that offers commentary, but is also just really fun and upbeat. And then the song Love, which is just an upbeat love song. It's not your typical love song, though. Here with Lecrae is an absolutely massive highlight on the album. Just joyful, big, maximalist music. Not really maximalist, but just like, it's got these horns in it. And horns and rap music, just, when you do that right, it sounds so good. And that's what's going on here. Just a absolutely killer verse from Lecrae. Like, his lyrics on this song, his delivery on this song is just so fire. Easily one of the best things that Lecrae has ever been a part of. Like, easily. Like, definitely my favorite Lecrae feature. But he sounds better on this than he does on most of his own songs, which is just crazy. The lyrical content is just joyful and eclectic, referencing all these different things. And I know I sound very vague, because I'm bad at describing things. Why do I even do this? Why do I have a YouTube channel? I don't know. But point being, this song is absolutely joyous, and it's so fun, and it's fantastic. 30 and Up is an interesting song to have on a Christian rap album, because the song is celebrating being an adult and going to parties and to drinking, and it is a tribute to people 30 years and older. It is a pop song only for the adults. Not a pop song. It is a very upbeat party song that once again has that kind of older instrumentation, this callback to a jazzier time period. Let's talk about the 60s and the 70s. You have that jazz instrumentation and that huge upbeat hook. This one's got Courtney Orlando on it. Courtney Orlando? Is that his name? I didn't even know that was... I thought it was Cortland Orlando. Whatever. But, yeah. It's just a really fun party song that I think is... And it has a very interesting and specific place in the world of Christian... Scratches a very specific itch. Because talking about drinking and other adult things is not something that you want to... It's not something that you want to talk about as a Christian artist, generally speaking. But Sho does it, and he does it very well. The tone of the album completely shifts by the time you get to the song Prophet, right after 30 and Up. A song that questions what it means to be an activist, question what it means to be a hypocrite. It's a song where Sho self-evaluates himself and talking about how weak he really is, but how he feels, how he wants to be strong, and like just the back and forth relationship between that. It touches on some political issues and calls out some people in sort of a vague way, which all pretense of that goes away when you get into the song Maybe Both, which has these very fiery lyrics that will just straight up attack people who are overly patriotic. It goes after conservatives, it goes after Trump, it goes after liberals who say one thing but really don't. It gets into why they say what they say and do they actually care about us. Talking about black people as a statistic, things along those lines. Talking about the history of America and slaves, and it's just a lot. Musically, you have these really haunting backing vocals that play throughout the entire song, and this amazing hook by this guest feature. I'm not really sure who the guest feature is, but it's a really powerful song that works on a lot of different levels, musically and lyrically, and it's a hard-hitting song. The next track, Excellent, I think is the closest the album gets to having a filler song. At the beginning of the song, Sho describes it as trap jazz, like in the little intro, and musically the song definitely has its quirkiness and its originality, and it brings something to the table. But after a while, the song mostly is just kind of Sho being a little bit braggadocious, and there are of course lyrical nuggets and things that you could take away that are really good, and he does briefly dive into touch on some deeper topics. But what really keeps the song afloat for me, that really keeps it from being a skip, is the beat switch after about 3 minutes of the song. And the beat switch just adds this interesting tone to it, and Sho will continue with like kind of a little bit of the more braggadocious lyrics, but musically, it just keeps the song interesting, and I think it's still a pretty solid track. The next 5 songs are excellent. Right after the song Excellent, the next 5 songs are excellent. Those are Road to Humble, My Hood USA, Words, Fathers, and Piano Break. They all serve a different purpose. Every single of these songs has a very distinct lyrical focus. The first one of these final 5, Road to Humble, is a song about how Sho Baraka got to be on Humble Beast Records. And it's an excellent song. Musically, it is so good with just these simple piano. It's just a very elegant instrumental, followed by these just really, really good self-reflective lyrics of Sho Baraka talking about how he got from one point to another. My Hood USA is a song with another very elegant instrumental, excellent music, about the history of hoods in the United States. It's a political statement of a song where he dives into history, political history and all this stuff, and about racism, and it's just another really extremely well-written song that sounds really good, with a really nice feature by his wife, Vanessa Hill. She adds a lot to the song near the end of the song. Words is a song about words. It's about the impact words can have. It's about the impact silence can have. It's also, and chiefly inspired by Sho Baraka's son who has autism, who you hear at the beginning of the song screaming, who it sounds like doesn't communicate very well, or much at all. And it's Sho Baraka reflecting on that, on what his son means to him, on what his grandfather taught him, I think is what he says, about silence. And it is one of the most profound, just impactful songs that I've ever heard. It's one of my all-time favorite songs. Words cannot do words justice. It's that good. And then comes Fathers, which is an absolutely beautiful song and tribute to fatherhood and what it means. A song that goes on to what it means to be a father and the expectations Sho has and what he wants for his kids. And it's just such a beautiful, extremely heartfelt song that hits so hard. And like, I'm not a dad, and I can get behind this, but if I was a dad, I feel like this would hit so much harder, and already hits so hard with really excellent backing music. And just another truly amazing song. Closing track, Piano Break, is one of my favorite closing tracks on any album. it takes everything that you've listened to, everything that you just went over for an hour. There's been an hour of music up to this point. And then you get to this song, and Sho Baraka unwinds everything, goes down on the political commentary, talks more about himself, but also talks about God and puts the focus on him. And the opening part of the song, I'm just going to read it so I don't get the words wrong. Are we sinners in the hands of an angry God, or is God being judged by a sinning mob? Kind of pointing everything to him. If God ain't good, I must have missed something. If God ain't good, I must have missed something. He been good to me, you've been good to me. And then and with that, he repeats those words, and there's hallelujahs throughout the song, and the music just is more stripped down and slow and a little bit peaceful. And it's just this beautiful moment on the album where you can just unwind everything that's been going on. Even some of the emotional trauma you could have gone through listening to this album with words and the political, the harsh political tones of some of it. And then this tribute to fatherhood, and then going into this and just unwinding and pointing to God. He been good to me. He been good to me. He been good to me. You've been good to me. And if God ain't good, I must have missed something. The Narrative is one of my favorite albums. Words is one of my favorite songs. This song, Piano Break, is one of my favorite songs. Fathers is one of my favorite songs. This album is excellent. I absolutely love it. Favorite album of 2016. Words is my favorite song of 2016. I'll link my favorite albums and my favorite songs in the description. But guys, if you haven't listened to The Narrative, you're probably not watching this video if you haven't listened to The Narrative. But if you haven't and you're just watching this, please check this out. It is well worth your time. It is so freaking good. And of course, it's getting a perfect score for me. 5 out of 5. That's all I have for this video. It ran a little bit long, but that's because I love this album, and I really needed to give this album the credit it deserves and talk about these songs. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great rest of your day.